Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is me Aniket Gupta. Now I am coming back with another video lecture on Funarium plant, and in my previous video lecture I had dealt with the morpho-anatomical features of this Funaria plant, and in this video lecture I will be teach you about the reproductive structures or reproduction in Funaria and development of sporogonium also. So without wasting time, I start my lecture. First of all, reproduction in Funaria. The reproduction in Funaria occurs both by vegetatively as well as by sexual methods. So first of all, vegetative reproduction, it takes place by different ways, many ways, and the first way is by the multiplication of primary protonema. Now, as we know that when the spores germinate, they give rise to a filamentous structure which we call as protonema, and this protonema is a juvenile stage of this Funaria plant. So in primary protonema, these are branched filamentous multicellular structures, and in it certain colorless separation cells are formed by intercalary divisions. Now intercalary divisions takes place, and as a result some colorless cells are formed, and these cells die out and break up the protonema into single cell or many celled fragments, and that those colorless cells they get die and break up the protonema into single cell or many celled fragments, and that fragment give rise to a plant body, new plant body. So in this we see that there is a formation of new moss plant by the multiplication of protonema, primary protonema, right? Now next, these fragments grow into new protonemata which bear buds, and each bud develops into a leafy gametophores, as I have told you. Second, by secondary protonema. Now secondary protonema may be formed from any of the cells which get detached from stem, leaf or rhizoids under moist conditions, and these filamentous protonema may develop buds, and that serve as means of vegetative propagation. Now third is the by gyme. Now as we know that during unfavorable conditions, when the conditions are not favorable, not in favor, the terminal cells of protonemal branches divide by many divisions, transverse divisions, longitudinal divisions. Divisions takes place in different planes, transverse, longitudinal, and they form green multicellular bodies of 10 to 30 cells. They get form green multicellular bodies of 10 to 30 cells, and these are called gyme. At maturity, gyme becomes slightly reddish brown in color, and when the conditions are favorable, on the return of favorable conditions, these gyme germinate and form new plants. Now you can see in this picture, this is the gyme of Funaria plant. Gyma means it is singular, only one is shown, Funaria. Fourth, by bulbils. Now some gyme-like structures are also produced on rhizoids inside the substratum, and these are called bulbils, and these bulbils are devoid of chloroplast, but they are capable of developing into leafy individuals under favorable conditions. When the conditions are favorable, these bulbils get developed into a leafy gametophores. Now next, vegetative way of reproduction is via apospory. Now, apospory is production of protonema directly from the sporogonium cells. Now, sporogonium cells से ही protonema get formed. This process known as apospory. Now, secondary protonema may also arise from any cell of sporogonium, and they are similar to those produced from gametophyte, right? And develop leafy gametophores in the same manner. जिस तरह से गेमेटोफाइट बनता है और फिर लीफी गेमेटोफोर्स बनते हैं, उसी तरीके से ये सेकेंडरी प्रोटोनीमा जो है स्पोरोगोनियम के किसी भी सेल से अराइज होता है इन द सेम मैनर, बिल्कुल सेम. And the resultant gametophores are diploid because they are formed from the diploid cells of sporogonium, because sporogonium is having diploid set of chromosome, so the resultant gametophore is diploid. Now, moving towards the sexual reproduction in Funaria, as we know that Funaria is a monoecious and audacious. Monoecious means having male and female sex organs on the same thallus, and audacious means they are on the same thallus but on the separate branches. Antheridia born on antheridial branches and archegonia born on archegonial branches. Now, these sex organs are born on leafy gametophores in terminal clusters, in groups. First of all, we'll talk about antheridia. Now, the antheridia, these are the, as we know that these are the male reproductive structures, male reproductive organs of the Funaria plant. Now, the antheridia are born on groups at the apex of main axis, and which functions as the male branch, antheridial branch. The apex of the branch is somewhat convex in shape and bears clusters of groups of antheridia. These antheridia are intermingled with some structures, some filamentous structures, unbranched, hair-like structures called paraphysis. Now, the terminal cell of paraphysis is large, nearly spherical, and help in protecting the developing antheridia, right? Now, these paraphyses also retain water, secrete some mucilaginous substances which help in the dehiscence of mature antheridium. Now, functions of paraphysis are, first of all, it protects the developing antheridia, and also it helps in the dehiscence of mature antheridium. Now, as you can see in this diagram, these are the antheridia, developing antheridia. This is the dehiscence mature antheridia which gets dehisced, and these structures these are the paraphyses. As you can see, the terminal cell is spherical, right? And they are hair-like, unbranched, and they protect the developing antheridia. Now, antheridia are also surrounded by some specialized leaves which we call as perigonial leaves, right? Perigonial leaves, as you can see in this diagram also, these are the perigonial leaves, and these perigonial leaves, function of perigonial leaves is to protect the developing antheridia. And the antheridial clusters which surrounding perigonial leaves, these are the antheridial clusters which are surrounded by perigonial leaves, is called perigonium. So this is the antheridia. Now, structure of mature antheridium. When the antheridium gets mature, they look like somewhat like this, right? A mature antheridium is club shape. It born on a stalk which is multicellular. and the main body contains a mass of androcytes, and these androcytes are surrounded by a layer of jacket which is unistatose, and the free distal end of antheridium. The free distal end of antheridium, as you can see, is differentiated into some cap-like structures called operculum. यहाँ पर operculum structure is found. It helps in dehiscence. When the antheridium gets matured, the mass of androcytes, antherozoids, they get moved towards outside through this cap-like structure called operculum, and this helps in dehiscence of the antheridium. Now, next reproductive organ is archegonium, and this is the female reproductive organ of Funaria plant. Now, like the archegonia is formed on special branches called archegonial branches or female branches. Now, the female branches arises from the base of male branch. Like, right, this is the male branch, and from this and the female branch arises. So it arises from the base of the male branch. This is male branch, this is female branch. The female branch arises from the base of male branch. Now, the LS longitudinal section of female branch shows that many archegonia intermingled with paraphysis occurs at its apex, right? Paraphyses are also present in archegonia in female branches. The terminal cell of paraphysis is not swollen. जैसा हमने एंथेरिडियल ब्रांचेस के ऊपर देखा था कि जो द पैराफाइसिस, द टर्मिनल सेल ऑफ पैराफाइसिस नियरली स्फेरिकल, बट in this archegonial branches, the paraphysis, the terminal cell of paraphysis is not swollen. The clusters of archegonia is enclosed by a group of green foliage leaves called pericetial leaves. In that case, perigonial leaves. In this case, pericetial leaves. The clusters of archegonia is enclosed by a group of green foliage leaves called pericetial leaves. Now, the archegonial clusters with the surrounding pericetial leaves is called pericetium, right? The group of archegonia and the surrounding pericetial leaves are collectively called as pericetium. As you can see in this diagram also, these are the archegonial branches. These are the archegonia, developing somewhat matured, and now these are the periphyses. There is no swelling of the terminal cell of paraphysis, and these are the pericetial leaves, and these pericetial leaves surround the archegonia. Now, structure of a mature archegonium. A mature archegonium is flask-shaped structure. It remains attached to the female branch by a massive stalk, which is also multistatose. It consists of upper elongated cylinder neck and basal globular portion called venter, right? Upper elongated cylinder neck, as you can see, this is the neck portion, this is the venter portion, this is elongated, this is swollen. The neck is slightly tubular, twisted, single layered, and consists of 6 vertical rows of neck cells, which enclose an axial row of 10 or more neck canal cells, right? So, neck is tubular, tube-like, twisted, coiled, single layer, and consists of 6 vertical rows of cells. 6 vertical rows of cells. And which encloses an axial row of the row of cells in the same axis of 10 or more than 10 neck canal cells. Now the venter is two-layered and encloses venter canal cell and axil. Venter canal cell is situated just below the neck canal cells, right? You can see these are the neck canal cells, neck and venter canal cell, which is present below the neck canal cells, and this is the neck. This is the venter portion. The venter portion is two layered, two cell layered, and neck portion is one cell layered thick. These are the cover cells which helps in which promotes the entry of antherocytes into the archegonia. Now fertilization. As we know that water is a very essential factor component for fertilization in case of moss plants. Raindrops help in transfer of antherozoids from antheridial head to the archegonian head. Now these raindrops helps in the transfer of antherozoids. They promote the transfer of antherozoids from antheridial head to archegonial head. Now these antherozoids are attracted towards the archegonia through chemotaxis. Some chemicals gets released by archegonia and antherozoids gets attracted towards that chemicals, and this process is called chemotaxis. A large number of antherozoids enter the neck of the archegonia through cover cells, but only one antherozoid fuses with egg to form a diploid zygote. As we know that when two gametes get fused together, the resultant cell is zygote, and that zygote is diploid because it gets the chromosome complement from two gametes, one from antherozoids and the other from egg. The diploid zygote, this diploid zygote represents the first cell of sporophytic generation and divide to form a sporophyte, because sporophytic generation is diploid, and with the formation of zygote, because the diploid stage is set by this zygote. Now that zygote further divides and form a sporophyte. First of all, we will discuss the sporophytic phase. Now, as I told you, zygote is the first cell of this sporophytic phase, and the development of sporophyte takes place within the venter of the archegonium. The venter of the archegonium, this is the venter portion of archegonia, and in this portion the development of sporophyte takes place. Development of sporophyte. Now, soon after fertilization, the zygote secretes a wall around it and enlarges in size. The zygote develops a wall around it and enlarges in size. It divides first by a transverse wall forming an upper epibasal cell and lower hypobasal cell, right? The first division in zygote is transverse, and as a result two cells gets formed. Upper one is epibasal cell and the lower one is hypobasal cell, as you can see in this diagram. This is the venter portion, this is the zygote. First they get divided by transverse division. This is the transverse plane. The upper cell is epibasal, lower cell is hypobasal, right? Now epibasal cell divides by two intersecting oblique walls. Oblique division takes place. As you can see, oblique, like this. Oblique division takes place. As a result, it differentiates an apical cell with two cutting faces in the apibasal cell, right? Two intersecting oblique walls gets formed. One is this and one is this, and there is a formation of apical cell with two cutting faces. This is the apical cell. This is one face, this is another face, two cutting face, right? Similarly, the hypobasal cell differentiates an apical cell also, like this. You can see in diagram D, A, B, then C, and then D. Similarly, hypobasal cell also divides by two oblique walls. Now, the entire sporophyte is differentiated by the activity of these two apical cells. Now, in this case, there are two apical cells, one in the apibasal cell and the another one is the hypobasal cell. So, the development of embryo sporophyte is biapical with the help of two apical cells, right? Now, the apibasal apical cell, the apical cell which is present in the apibasal cell develops into capsule and upper portion of seta, right? Capsule and upper portion of seta. As we know that in sporophyte majorly three structures are there: foot, seta and capsule. This apibasal apical cell develops into capsule and upper portion of the seta, whereas the hypobasal apical cell differentiates or develops into foot and remaining part of the seta. So the whole structure of sporophyte gets formed. Now, both apical cells cut out alternate segments and form the elongated filamentous structure of young sporogonium, right? Both apical cells, they cut out, they divide by many divisions and they form the elongated filamentous structure of sporogonium cell as shown in figure 1, E and F. So you can see this is the E, this is the F. So upper apical cell, lower apical cell, they divide by many divisions and form a elongated filamentous or segmented structure of young sporogonium. Now, development of capsule. Now the capsule gets developed. First, a cross section through the upper portion of young sporogonium. This is the young sporogonium, right? And the cross section through this young sporogonium, from which portion? Upper portion, shows a two identical segments. As you can see in this diagram also, this, right? One is this, one is this. These two identical segments which divide by vertical division at right angle to the previous one. Now जो पहले डिवीजन हुई उसके राइट एंगल में दूसरी डिवीजन होगी, राइट? अगर फर्स्ट डिवीजन ऐसे हुई तो सेकंड डिवीजन ऐसे होगी, बिकॉज दिस दे फॉर्म अ राइट एंगल, राइट? And as a result, four celled stage is formed called quadrant as shown in figure 2b. So this is the figure B. This first the two cells get divided by this plane. Now the next division takes place by a right angle like this. So this quadrant stage is get formed. Each cell of the quadrant divides by anticlinal wall in such a way that a smaller, almost triangular cell and larger, more or less rectangular cell is formed. तो जो क्वाड्रेंट बना, 4 सेल स्टेज बनी, इसका हर एक सेल एंटीक्लाइनल वॉल फॉर्मेशन करेगा इस तरह से कि एक छोटा सा ट्रायंगुलर सेल बने और एक बड़ा या थोड़ा बहुत, अब प्रॉपर रेक्टेंगुलर या ट्रायंगुलर शेप नहीं होगी लेकिन ऑलमोस्ट उसी तरह से वो थोड़ा बहुत दिखेगा. So each rectangular cell now divides by periclinal division. Now as you can see in this diagram, figure C and figure D. So this is the figure C, this is the figure D. So anticlinally wall gets formed, right? This is a triangular cell, this is the triangular cell, this is the triangular cell, this is the triangular cell, right? And this is a rectangular cell, this is a rectangular cell, this is a rectangular cell, this is a rectangular cell. प्रॉपर रेक्टेंगुलर और ट्रायंगुलर नहीं है, थोड़ा बहुत रिजेंबल कर रहा है. नाउ इन फिगर डी these cells divide by periclinal division. So in like this they divide by periclinal division and form this structure. Each rectangular cell now divides by periclinal division. I can show you. Yes, these are the rectangular cell, these are the rectangular cell, rectangular cell, rectangular cell. They divide by periclinal like this, like this and like this, right? So this structure is formed. So it results in the formation of a group of 4 central cells. In the middle 4 cells gets formed which are surrounded by 8 peripheral cells. 8 peripheral cells like this. Inner 4 cells and the outer 8 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inner cells को हम एंडोथीशियम बोलेंगे, आउटर सेल्स को हम एम्फीथीशियम बोलेंगे. एम्फीथीशियम. द सेंट्रल टिश्यू इज नोन एज एंडोथीशियम एंड द पेरिफेरल सेल्स form the amphithecium. Now from these two group of cells the further development takes place. There is a formation of different rings gets formed by various divisions which takes place in anticlinally and as well as periclinally. So first of all, amphithecium. The amphithecium divides by periclinal division to form 2 concentric layers, right? The inner layer of 8 cells is called first ring, as you can see in figure 2e. So this is figure E. So this amphithecium divides anticlinal like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and there is a ring gets formed having 8 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cell ring gets formed और जिसको हमने क्या नाम दिया? फर्स्ट रिंग, like, right? Now the cells of outer layer also divide by anticlinally. Anticlinal divisions takes place in the outer layer of cells. As a result 16 cells gets formed. 16 cells gets formed in figure 2f. So this is the f. So outer wall, this is the outer ring, they divide and give rise to 16 cells. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? So in this the first division is anticlinally like this and the second division is periclinally. So in this outer layer this anticlinal divisions takes place. So as a result 16 cell ring is formed. Now this is followed by पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन इन दिस लेयर. नाउ जो 16 सेल वाली लेयर बनी, अब उसके अंदर पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन होना हो जाएगी. सो यू कैन सी इन दिस रिंग देर इज अ पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन टेक्स प्लेस. सो दिस ब्लू लाइन जो है क्या बता रही है आपको, पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन हो रही है, और इस पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन से ये सेकंड लेयर बनेगी. एंड ये जो सेकंड रिंग होगी इट कंप्राइज ऑफ 16 सेल्स लाइक दिस 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16, right? So this division is periclinally. This division is periclinally like this. Anticlinal division is this, periclinal division is this, right? So the inner part of this layer is called second ring. Now अब जो है second ring बन गई, ठीक है. जो बाहर लेयर आती जा रही है उसी में डिविजन्स हो रही हैं और उसी से अंदर वाली जो है लेयर्स बनती जा रही हैं, ठीक है. पहले जो थे यहाँ पर, अगर मैं आपको यहाँ से दोबारा से बताऊँ, इस वाले में हमारे पास जो एम्फीटिशियम के सेल्स थे वो 8 थे. तो जब इन 8 के अंदर डिवीजन हुई इस तरह से पेरिक्लाइनली, तो हमारे पास ये 8 सेल की फर्स्ट रिंग बनी, ठीक है. उसके बाद जो बाहर के सेल बचे वो 8 थे, लेकिन उन्होंने किस तरह से डिवाइड किया, उन्होंने एंटीक्लाइनली डिवाइड किया. जब एंटीक्लाइनली डिवाइड किया तो वो क्या बन गए, ये 8 वाली लेयर जो है वो 16 लेयर बन गई, 16 सेल्स की लेयर बन गई, राइट. फिर उसके बाद ये जो 16 लेयर की सेल्स थी इसने दोबारा से पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन की लाइक दिस. पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन से फिर क्या हुआ, फिर एक सेकंड रिंग बन गई सेल्स की जिसके अंदर 16 सेल्स थे. नाउ अब जो बाहर वाली रिंग बनी है इसके अंदर दोबारा से डिविजन्स होंगी. अब डिविजन्स कैसी होंगी, पहले होगी हमारे पास दिस एंटीक्लाइनली, ताकि इनका जो सेल है ये एक एक सेल 2-2 में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा. तो 16 यहाँ पर है, तो 16 से यहाँ पर कितने आ जाएंगे, 32 सेल्स, ठीक है. पहले एंटीक्लाइनल डिवीजन होगी एंड देन पेरिक्लाइनली डिवीजन होगी. सो वही यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है, द इनर पार्ट ऑफ दिस लेयर इज कॉल्ड द सेकेंड रिंग. अगेन द आउटर लेयर ऑफ दीज 2 layers divide anticlinally to form 32 cells, right? 32 cells बनेंगे. This layer divides now periclinally to form 2 layers of cells. सबसे पहले हमारे पास 16 cells की second ring थी, right? 16 cells की this second layer is 16 cell है. इसके अंदर जो है सबसे पहले इसके अंदर एंटीक्लाइनल डिवीजन होगी. सो एंटीक्लाइनल डिवीजन से क्या होगा, अभी मैं आपको बता रहा था, एंटीक्लाइनल डिवीजन से क्या होगा कि इस तरह से डिवीजन होगी. तो सभी जो है एक लेयर बनेगी, ठीक है. ये सेल्स बड़े 16 सेल हो जाएंगे और उस 16 सेल से दोबारा से कौन सी होगी, पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन से थर्ड रिंग बन जाएगी, ठीक है. सो आई होप आपको ये क्लियर हो गया हो. नाउ दिस इन लेयर डिवाइड्स पेरिक्लाइनल टू फॉर्म 2 layers of 32 cells, ठीक है. नाउ द इनर लेयर इज कॉल्ड थर्ड रिंग. जो अंदर वाली लेयर होगी इसको थर्ड रिंग बोलेंगे, बाहर वाली को फोर्थ बोलेंगे, और उसके बाद वहाँ पे दोबारा से पेरिक्लाइनल डिवीजन्स होंगी और उसके बाद 32 सेल्स की फोर्थ और फिफ्थ रिंग बन जाएगी, ठीक है. तो फोर्थ और फिफ्थ रिंग जो है वो 32 सेल्स की होगी, राइट. Now, the 4 cells of endothelium also divide similarly to amphithecium. अब जो अंदर वाले हमारे एंडोथेशियम के सेल्स बचे थे, ठीक है, जो अंदर बचे थे वो भी इसी तरह से डिवाइड करते जाएंगे, ठीक है. इसी तरह से डिवाइड करते जाएंगे, रिंग्स बनती जाएंगी. और द फर्स्ट डिवीजन कर्व्ड एंटीक्लाइनली एंड सेकेंड डिवीजन इज पेरिक्लाइनल. It results in the formation of central group of 4 endothelial cells. अंदर 4 endothelial cells बनेंगे, बाहर 8 हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि पहले 4 थे. 4 के अंदर जब एंटीक्लाइनल डिवीजन आई उनसे कितने बन गए, 8 बन गए, ठीक है. जैसे अगर मेरे पास ये 4 सेल हैं इस तरह से, अगर मैं इनमें एंटीक्लिनल डिवीजन करता हूँ इस तरह से, तो मेरे पास ये 8 बन जाएंगे, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 8 बन जाएंगे, ठीक है। उसके बाद अंदर 4 और बाहर 8 से वो पेरिफेरल एंडोथेशियल सेल्स जो हैं अंदर वाले सेंट्रल ग्रुप ऑफ एंडोथेशियल सेल्स को सराउंड करेंगे। नाउ फर्दर डेवलपमेंट होगी टिश्यूज़ की कैप्सूल रीजन में, takes place by these epithelial rings and endothelial rings. These rings further gets divided and the development of the tissues in the capsule region takes place. So these are the various stages in the development of capsule, diagrammatically shown in this figure. Now the fertile region is in capsule comprises of archisporium lined by outer and inner spore sac. Archisporium is endothelial in origin. Its cells may undergo subdivisions to form 2 cell layer thick spore mother cells, which by meiosis form tetrads of spores and elaters are absent. So fertile region कैप्सूल के अंदर वो आर्किस्पोरियम से मिलके बना होता है, जो लाइंड होता है आउटर एंड इनर स्पोर सैक्स। जब हम नेक्स्ट वीडियो में जब हम स्ट्रक्चर पढ़ेंगे स्पोरोफाइट का, उसके अंदर हम 2 स्पोर सैक देखेंगे, ठीक है। और आर्किस्पोरियम एंडोथेशियल इन ओरिजिन है, एंडोथेशियल के सेल्स से आर्किस्पोरियम बना है, और इसके अंदर आर्किस्पोरियम में अंदर और सेल्स में डिवीजन हुई और 2 सेल लेयर्स थिक स्पोर मदर सेल्स बने और उनके अंदर मियोसिस हुई, टेट्राड्स ऑफ स्पोर्स बने। इन दिस केस इलेटर्स आर एब्सेंट। सो this is all about the reproduction in Funaria and the development of Sporogonium. I hope आपको ये बिल्कुल क्लियर हो। अगर आपको किसी भी तरह की क्वेरी है तो आप मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में पूछ सकते हैं। आपको वीडियो समझ में आई, लाइक करना, सब्सक्राइब करना, शेयर करना। थैंक्स अ लॉट।